All right, welcome back everyone. This is the Happy Toolbox, and today we'll be going over part 2 of our ongoing series where I document the creation of a children's book from start to finish. As I said previously, this is a story my brother and I wrote in 2017. It's kind of been in my back pocket since then, and I not only want to use this series to inspire you guys and give you an insight into my process, but also use it as a way to push myself further and make sure this storybook that I think is pretty amazing isn't sitting on the back burner for 3 more years. So with that being said, last week we went over initial character creation of our main character, Hudson. We're just starting off with illustration first and foremost, so we have some really good reference material to take inside of 3D eventually, which is where this is all headed. This week we are again doing more illustration and really trying to lock down the layout and look and feel of a few of these book pages. I'm probably not going to show every single page that I've been sketching here. Just got to leave a little mystery to the whole thing, but I'll walk you through in a time-lapse format some of the layouts and pages and stylings that I'm doing for this book. So let's get started. Okay, so with this page, I'm trying to do a layout based on the words, "He was the roamer of worlds, the explorer of dreams." So obviously to start out, I want some type of explorer outfit. And I think I pulled in a piece of clip art. Yeah, I have a piece of clip art here that I'm kind of using as reference for perspective. And then I also did a little separate drawing of Hudson in an explorer outfit that I'm using as reference as well. And I kind of want him in this explorer outfit, just coming out of a clearing from the jungle and then pointing across the way to something magical and dreamlike. So I'm just sketching out what I want that angle to be. And then as you can see kind of at the bottom, I'm using some cloud elements. And so throughout this illustration process, I'm kind of using these same cloud-like elements and these same, I don't know what to really call them, trumpet flourishes, I guess I'd say, that are kind of these cloud-like elements flourishing and shooting out little particles. I haven't quite figured out what I want them to look like in 3D in my mind, but I just really like this magical environment, so it doesn't just seem like he's in the jungle, but he's actually in this dream imagination world. So here you can see I'm setting up kind of a cliff. I played around with some space elements. I kind of landed on maybe a moon up in the corner. I brought in this whale illustration. Here again, I'm just bringing in clip art and things, illustration pieces that I can use to reference for angles. I'm not the greatest at drawing perspective, and I don't want to box myself into the corner of some really flat perspective image when I get into 3D. And then I have all these little dots and particles flowing through the whole scene, which is an element I'll continue to do. Here again, you saw I pulled in like a full illustration that I really liked the angle. I wanted to have him laying and dreaming on top of a bed. So I'm using that as inspiration and kind of trace the perspective of the body of this girl. I'll try to throw up the artist's name on these that I'm pulling for reference. But I want him kind of dreaming in his bed about what's to come and where he's going on his next adventure. So he's kind of dreaming in space. I have these same flourish elements flowing and then going into the sky. And I am going to draw him kind of sitting on this moon in an astronaut outfit. And the words are, "He would think to himself, where will I go today? Will I fly to the moon, or in the sea will I play?" So here I'm bringing back in my Hudson I drew in the other scene so I can copy his face. I'm even copying myself. I'm tracing myself. His trusty cat is always by his side, whether he knows it or not, is also a theme in this book. Again, these flourish kind of trumpet cloud-like elements shooting out particles to map to his dreaming. It's just something I really liked and I started drawing a lot. Same kind of wispy cloud environment this whole thing is set in. the same particles flowing throughout. That's going to be a interesting challenge once we get inside 3D to figure out exactly what I'm going to do there. Here you can see I pulled in some clip art of someone lounging. Again, I didn't really know how to draw that well, so I'm way better at positioning an actual 3D object in 3D space than I am at drawing perspective. So here we go, we have Hudson kind of in his space outfit. And then the next words of the next page are going to be, I haven't the faintest idea how to pick. I guess I'll do both. A sun-sailing pirate ship. So I tried a few different things here. Ultimately, I kind of brought this really cool illustration. I think it was actually a model someone created. I brought that in and kind of traced it out. Again, from there, a lot of the detailing and the actual 3D model, I'm going to build myself in 3D. You can kind of see I used that as a base for perspective, started chopping parts on and off. I added a lantern in the back, kind of detailed out the front a little differently. So I'm using a lot of these as reference pieces for perspective on how I'm placing these objects. And then again, I'm going to actually model out what I see fit as a really cool pirate ship. Again, playing into the what if all of these were toys theme. So I'll work on that. As you can see, he's got his little cat sketched out sitting there on the front of this pirate ship. I was having a hard time figuring out what this should be like. So now you can see I'm kind of rounding the whole thing out. Like, maybe this should be more of a submarine. Should it be a submarine? I put some glass on the front of it. Maybe he should be in the front there. So you can see I'm kind of starting with that trace and then really moving away into some other territory, which sometimes just helps unblock your brain a little bit. Gives you something to kind of iterate on a little bit. So took that glass part out, put this little kind of bridge zone on there, added a few lights on the front, rounded the top, wanted a little step ladder that steps down. And then obviously got to have the pirate steering wheel going on up there. Some nice details there. And then all of this is connected to kind of this balloon system in the air. So I didn't really love the front. Decided to try some other things out. You can see there's a lot of back and forth. Like, okay, let's try a yacht front. Maybe this looks a little better, more spacious. More like it's a spaceship than an actual boat. I'm trying something else out. Struggling a lot. Don't really love any of it. Thought maybe it'd be a whale for a moment, I guess. Oh, it's a turtle now. Yep, it's turtle. I kept going back to a turtle on this thing. I kept thinking, what if he's riding a turtle? And then blop, I just took this whole thing outside in a whole new sketch and just sketched my own thing that had nothing to do with that. I liked how this was going. You can see it's a little more low res, so I brought it in. It's way more simplified. I think I was getting way too detailed there, so I put the cat back on the front. Focused on the cloud pieces around this ship as it was kind of trying to make it look like it's bursting through the atmosphere into space. I think I got a lot closer here to making this feel like it would be a cool toy. Way more simplified. I mean, you can see the top there is just, it's almost like a block, you know. And then I used that illustration of the character prior to draw what the character is going to look like. Added in some of these beads back in. Some of those flourish elements. And yeah, that was it. All right, I'm going to stop there for this week. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm liking where this is heading. I'm having a lot of fun laying this out in my free time, putting a few hours here and there where I can. Obviously, I'm going pretty fast when I'm talking, but I don't want you to have to sit through hours and hours of video footage. It's slow going, but progress is progress. If you would like this video and subscribe to the channel, that would help me out a ton. And as always, if you're interested in any 3D models, head on over to thehappytoolbox.com. We have over 500 and counting of them. All right, I'll see you guys next time.